With Joaquin Phoenix having just taken the role of the Joker to incredible new heights, it seems as though the other recent iteration of the character, played by Jared Leto, will pretty much be left in the past. But some intriguing new information put out by Suicide Squad director David Ayer might just change what you think about Leto's Joker entirely. Jared Leto's Joker never had an easy go at being brought into life on the big screen. It started all the way back when the very first images of the character design were met with a ton of mockery and disdain when released to the public. And then came the seemingly endless stories of Leto's over-the-top antics in preparation for the role.
No, Batman going in there! Psych!
His decision to inflict his method upon his cast members, whether they wanted to participate or not. And then, finally, when the movie came out, Joker was nowhere to be found. Okay, that's not entirely true. He is technically in the movie. But, as one diligent Redditor calculated, only for a grand total of 7 minutes and 45 seconds, in a movie that is 2 hours and 20 minutes long. After all that time he spent mailing dead animals and other things we really don't want to think about to his castmates in an effort to get into character, you think we'd at least seen a little bit more of what all that fuss was even made for. Well, he did make an impact in those few moments he appears on screen. It always felt like something was off about how Suicide Squad played out in the end, and Leto would be the first to agree with that. He has said that there was a ton of Joker footage that was shot but never made it into the final cut. We may never find out what those scenes might be, or why they were left on the cutting room floor in the first place, but recently, the film's director David Ayer spoke on Instagram to express his thoughts about what happened in Suicide Squad, and while they are pretty cryptic, they do give us a hint about what went on behind the scenes. Firstly, Ayer has been adamant about the fact that Leto's scenes weren't cut because he was in any way unhappy with the performance, but for some other overall issues with how the movie came together. While we definitely believe that to be true, it does seem like there are a few other things going on behind the curtain, as we now know for sure that Leto's Joker won't be coming back for either the new Birds of Prey movie or the new James Gunn-led sequel, The Suicide Squad. Along with that, all rumors of a solo Joker film starring Leto have since ceased, leading us to believe that Suicide Squad might be the only time we get a glimpse of this particular Joker. Some believe that the involvement of Warner Brothers executives in the editing process is what is responsible for all this confusion, and David Ayer seems to have confirmed that. On Instagram, he posted a photo of a Joker deleted scene. In it, we see a seemingly scorched Joker holding a gun to Harley Quinn's head. In the caption, Ayer writes that movies are fragile and have a life of their own, and then, somewhat mysteriously, he asks, if you change the destination after the trip is complete, is it still the same journey? He goes on to talk about how the spine of the movie was Harley Quinn's journey, and how in many ways the through line of it was her breaking free from her relationship with Joker. Looking back on Suicide Squad, that isn't really how the movie ended up. Sure, Harley is clearly the breakout star, and it does touch on her complicated relationship with the Joker, but with him saving her from prison in the end. The message of her breaking free of him doesn't really come across. Fans have known for some time that the final version of the film is not the movie that Ayer set out to make originally, but was dramatically changed by a ton of studio development. His statement on Instagram seems to confirm that, even if he's not allowed to say it in so many words. Specifically, that whole thing about changing the destination after the trip is complete sounds like he is hinting at that someone got involved and changed the movie after he had already finished shooting it. He has even been blunt about one scene that was cut, that changes the movie entirely. On Twitter, he wrote that, in his alternate version, after Harley Quinn is dropped from the helicopter, Joker was going to make a deal with Enchantress to take Harley home and become King of Gotham, but instead of following him at the expense of her new friends, she was going to stand up to him and refuse, before the rest of the squad would turn on him. This scene aligns so much more with his earlier comments about Suicide Squad being Harley's movie, and with her trajectory in letting go of her toxic relationship with Joker. Along with all of that, Ayer has also expressed a ton of regret that he didn't make Joker the main villain of the movie, instead of Enchantress. While Enchantress had potential to be a cool villain, the many characters and crisis-crossing plotlines in Suicide Squad never gave her a chance to really develop, leaving audiences a bit confused about the whole thing. If, instead, Ayer had been able to make Joker the main big bad as he intended, the story could have been a lot more cohesive, and Harley's struggle between her and her new gang and her old life would have been huge. It's a shame that David Ayer never got the chance to make the movie that he set out to make, but at least he is now able to let his fans know that he had bigger plans for Harley and the Joker after all. And, with the upcoming Suicide Squad and the new Birds of Prey movie set to make a ton of waves very soon, the franchise is about to get the fresh start that it so deserves.
Blah, 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 blah.
We hope that David Ayer gets to make a movie that he really loves sometime soon. What about you? Do you wish that Jared Leto got the chance to tell his Joker story? Or are you happy that Joaquin is the reigning king of Gotham? What do you hope that James Gunn brings to the Suicide Squad this time around? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out.